Well, Tottenham are out of the League Cup. 17 years, 17 long, painful, shitty years without silverware. Looks like it's going to continue. Um, Welcome back to the channel. This is the first stream I've done in God knows how long on here. We've got Dan on here. He's a Chelsea fan. Make sure you get over to his channel, VDB Dan, and subscribe. I don't know where to start. Like, what did you make of that absolute dross?
Oh, well, first of all, good to be back on the channel. Appreciate everyone tuning in again for this one. I thoroughly enjoyed it, to be honest with you, but I have to say that it is so bad. Like, you're 1-0 going into a leg at Anfield. The
Have you ever
message
seen a
is,
semi-final like that? Have you ever seen a
no,
weak,
I don't think so.
pathetic
I don't think,
semi-final like that?
I thought it was just so naive, but just so perfectly Ange. Like, if you gave Ange the job to get that done, you could go about it 9 times out of 10 in a different way. But of course, he goes for the option that is so naive, gives you the smallest chance of getting to Wembley. I mean, absolutely embarrassing, to be honest with you. And for me, that would be the nail in the coffin for Ange. Like, it's just too far gone now. I think today's when you see the swing from the fan base. Has to be.
Mate, a Thursday night, right? A Thursday night. We've trekked all the way up the M6.
Yeah, those fans look fuming.
M1, M6. A semi-final, the biggest game of the season, where fans are travelling from all over the country.
The closest you've been to a trophy since the Champions League, no?
No, Jose's final.
Jose's final, sorry, yeah. So the closest you've been to a trophy. So not just the biggest game of the season, but arguably the biggest game of maybe Ange's career, the biggest game of Tottenham's last few years. A crazy importance on this game. And he sets his team up to go about it in that way. I'm no longer able to see any reasoning behind people suggesting like Ange is the man for the job.
Yeah, like I don't know. I honestly just don't know what to say.
You're lost for words now, aren't you?
Yeah, like when I'd make sure you go and check out the post-match reaction. I actually had, like, afterwards, I had to take the 5 minutes because my blood pressure, like, was pounding. Like, I've actually got a glass of water here where I had to calm myself down because I was so.
I was watching it, and as it goes on, you're just getting redder and redder with anger.
Yeah, like Liam says, I can't even bring his comment up for some reason. It's frozen on Dean H. But Liam says, I don't even think Liverpool played as well over the stats. I mean, just to give you some context, right? Just to give you some context, that was the biggest game of the season from Tottenham. If you didn't see that game, and we turned up and just got absolutely stuffed. We didn't register, Dan, a shot on target in a semi-final. We didn't register a shot on target. Look at these match stats. Granted, Liverpool are by far the better team, but that's pathetic. That is actually pathetic. 0
quality,
on target in a semi-final.
Yeah, that's poor. That is poor. I was really, I tell you what, right? I was so underwhelmed by your forwards. I felt, all right, that challenge on Richarlison was a bit dodgy, yeah. And I do think that potentially you could get into conversations around red cards and things.
Yeah,
like
it was a red card, but
yeah, I think it's a dodgy challenge. But from the moment Richarlison just never looked like he was up for the game, if I'm being honest with you. I felt like Son, I mean, he was Mr. Reliable for quite some time. He is so far gone. Like, I don't think you're ever getting him back. I think right now you might be at the stage where you might be wanting to move on from him. See if you can cash in. I don't know how long's left on his contract, but I just felt like your forward line was just like, it just wilted out of the game the longer it went on. And defensively, you're all over the place as well. So, like, I mean, you've conceded 26 shots. What is the game plan here? I think Redknapp said, didn't he, when the fun stops, stop?
Yeah, like for me, look, take nothing away from Liverpool. They're the best team in Europe right now. They're top of the league. They're in a final. You know, they're flying in the Champions League. They're firing on all cylinders. They are what every team dreams of being right now. But to turn up to that ground Bentancur, Davis, Son, senior players. Absolutely diabolical. Like, I'm looking at Son today, right? You're supposed to be our maverick. You're supposed to be our captain. You're supposed to drag us out of out of the pits when we need you. And you look at the players Liverpool are bringing on. Harvey Elliott starts for us. Jota starts for us. Diaz starts for us. That's Liverpool's bench. Connor Bradley starts for us.
Yeah, when they brought on McAllister as well, didn't they, off the bench?
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. They're by far the better team, but that's just taking the piss, isn't it? Like, the changes, the tactical changes from this manager. The first change was Pedro Porro for a DM.
Yeah, and I didn't really understand what that did. I know before the game, obviously, you were shocked Porro wasn't in the 11. But, I mean, I'm baffled by Ange every time I see him on the touchline. When it comes to the point where he has to make a decision, 9 times out of 10, I feel like he doesn't make the right one. I just feel like he often goes with the riskiest move you could possibly take, and it doesn't really pay off. And I thought Tell come on and he was like a bit more lively, probably than Richarlison was ever going to be on the night. But I also didn't feel like it's early days for him, but I didn't feel like he did too much. But I mean, I don't know what you thought of him coming on.
I mean, I want to speak about Newcastle and the Arsenal game in a second, but I looked at Tell and I thought, right, put Son up front and put Tell on the left, because that's where Tell's been playing recently, right? Bentancur and Bissouma are Bissouma and Sarr are fucking disastrous. All of them can jog on, the whole lot. Like, they're absolutely pathetic. I just don't know what to make of that. It's a semi-final. We haven't won anything in nearly 2 decades.
How many trophies have you seen in your lifetime?
I saw a League Cup when I was 3. Well, I didn't really see a League Cup because I was 3.
Yeah.
And I've seen a League Cup in 2008.
It's crazy. 2 trophies in best part of 30 years. Like, honestly, Spurs are... The mentality, right, Henry? The mentality so deep in the club and so high up is just so wrong if you're ever going to win trophies. And I think that's the issue, right? Is that it's got so bad with Ange that honestly, I don't think anything changes, because I think the last 15 years shows proof that nothing will. Do you know, like, am I wrong for thinking that? Maybe because I'm on the outside, but
Dan, this is what gives me the fucking ump, right? This is what gives me the ump. That I've got to find it. There's a picture of Daniel Levy a fucking sleep in the stadium
tonight.
We're 3-1 down.
Oh,
I'm not even.
That's why he ain't sacked him yet, because he's been asleep when he's needed to see how bad it is.
Disgrace, mate. That's Daniel Levy. Tell me he's not asleep. He's got his hands in his pockets.
He is.
Tell me that man is not asleep. It's a semi-fucking final. We've just been battered 4-0, and our chairman is asleep.
He's jet lagged, mate. He's been flying all around Europe trying to get your deals done.
This football club. And then, do you know what? I don't know. Obviously, you wouldn't have seen it because you're not a Spurs fan. But 4 days ago, they announced that Beyonce will be performing at the stadium. We're not a football club anymore. This is embarrassing.
What are you? What are you? An entertainment
franchise.
Business? Yeah, a franchise. Yeah, it's
we
crazy.
Are.
The focus isn't number one on football anymore, is it?
We're basically the North London O2.
Yeah, actually,
it's pathetic. It's absolutely embarrassing.
Oh my God!
Son is the closest, other than Harry Kane. Son is the closest thing we have had to a world-class player in the last 10 years. Right? Looking at him tonight, you have to step up.
Nah, Henry,
step up if he was on a fucking ladder. It's pathetic.
I watch Son and I think that's a finished footballer at this level. I just don't think he's good enough anymore. You can't keep relying on him, because how under Ange, how reliable has he been? This season, I feel like he's been way off it. I feel like in moments where you've really needed him this season, he just hasn't been there time and time again. And then in the biggest moment of your season, on the biggest night, it's not like he isn't trying. I just don't think he can influence the game like he used to. I don't know how he feels about a move to Saudi, but it would not surprise me if that's on the cards. Just wouldn't surprise me. Try and get some money in before it's too late.
Like we bring in Matthias Tell, right? And we bring in Danso. I actually think Danso looked all right today.
He looked pretty good. Yeah, I thought that too. I mean, any defender being asked to do a job in that Ange side is a hard one, and I think he looked.
Oh, don't get me wrong, his hamstrings will probably go before the Villa game.
But he looked all right. I do think he looks all right. I agree with you on that one.
No, yeah, he looked decent. He looked decent. Jed Spence looked good today.
Yeah, I really like him. I actually think
that's
going
it.
forward,
Those are the only players.
Yeah, probably, yeah. I don't think.
Bentancur and Bissouma both need to be sold in the summer.
No, Bissouma, what on earth has gone on there? Like, he looks so far off the pace. I don't. Are your players just absolutely exhausted? This is the thing where I think you have to go in a little bit deeper on Ange. Genuinely, anyone that doesn't think he is the reason for the injuries and the fitness issues at Tottenham, I think you are way off it. Like, I genuinely believe with Ange being removed from the post, your squad is like has way more players available. You've got way more players to choose from. Hence, the 11 goes up in quality. I think there are so many issues with the way he's asking your team to play that sometimes I think the players look absolutely drained before they've even kicked a ball.
Well, I don't understand how. Well, I don't understand it. It's the same old shit. I mean, make sure you go down, drop a like on the stream. Make sure you get over to Dan's channel. Michael says, "Was Son that bad tonight? Felt he had no options most of the time." Yeah, but like Michael, he's not even trying. Like, he gets the ball, he gets down the sideline, it comes to taking a man on, and he passes it back. The only time he actually looked like Son tonight was when he had that shot off the bar.
Yeah, he cut inside, didn't he, a couple of times? And I think one time he hit a man, a couple of times he went into traffic. I feel like, look, Harry Kane was obviously key for Son in the sense that he always had someone to play off, and there was always a pinpoint of the attack that he knew he could link up with well, running behind, obviously counter-attack with. He always knew the pass would come from Harry if he made the runs. And I feel like now he's being asked to be like the main man, the guy that has to step up. And I feel like it is difficult for him, but yeah, maybe in a better team with better players, less reliance on Son, he might still be okay. Look, he isn't the biggest problem at Spurs, but yeah, managers have been sacked for less, by the way. That's what's crazy. But if Daniel Levy's not awake to see it, then maybe he isn't aware, mate. But how bad is that as your owner being asleep? Like, look, you know more than me, Henry, but a Tottenham fan's not fed up with him.
Well, it's the same. It's like a clock. Tottenham are a clock, right? At the 12, start of the day, we get a manager in. We get to 3, we get to a transfer window. We don't we get to 3. Everyone's all giddy because we go on a 10-match unbeaten run and everyone's behind him. Manager's doing great. We get to 6 and fails to adapt to any flipping team in front of him. We get to 9, the manager's not backed. We get to 12, he's sacked. Pochettino, Harry Redknapp, Juan de Ramos is the only manager in Daniel Levy's tenure who's won a trophy. So that is
and Ange's got a worse point per game ratio than him now, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's got the lowest points tally of any Spurs manager in the history of the Premier League. And there's fans out there, Dan. This is what gives me the up. There's fans out there that are, Henry, you're negative. Henry, this and that. Give him the cups, give him the cups, give him the cups. Then we get into the cup. Look at Newcastle last night, showing grit, determination, the wanting to win the game.
For Newcastle, because like they're waiting 70 years, aren't they?
I hope they win it. No disrespect.
I do too, but I wanted him to get Spurs because I thought they might have had a chance of getting their trophy in 70 years. But honestly, now, I hope they beat Liverpool, but I'm gutted for them because that's a tough game.
Yeah,
that's the thing, right? Liverpool are a quality team. We can't forget that. They are a quality side, but it's embarrassing the way Spurs went about it tonight.
Yeah, like the game plan was clearly to sit back, frustrate Liverpool, and play on the counter. That's fine. But we went from, a 12 out of 10 on a night out on the first half to getting battered like Bonnie Blue in the second half with every single Liverpool player running through us. And we can joke about it all we want, and we can give as much praise to Liverpool because they're a fantastic side. But Newcastle go to the Emirates to a tough ground on a Tuesday or Wednesday night. They defend as a unit, they counter-attack as a unit, and the differences between Newcastle and Spurs is they have got match winners. They've got Gordon, who starts for us. Do you know the only three players I think out of Tottenham start for Newcastle is Dejan Kulusevski, right?
Yeah, he does.
I personally would take Kulusevski over Murphy.
Right wing, yeah, I was going to say right wing. I don't think
none of our midfielders get in there. None of our midfielders getting over Tonali, over Bruno Guimaraes or Joelinton. Maybe you could say Maddison for Joelinton. And the only one, but even then, he's up for debate. And then I think the two players which I personally think Van der Ven and one of our fullbacks getting.
Yeah, and I don't think he starts, but I think Solanke would get minutes at Newcastle. I quite like Solanke. I know he's got injury issues at the moment.
I mean, Isak's just...
Isak is unreal, but I do think Solanke would get minutes there. I do think Solanke is a decent bit of recruitment from Spurs. I believe going forward, do you know what, Henry? I actually think your squad isn't great, but I think the way Ange has this team playing football right now just causes so many more issues than what this squad actually needs. If you had a manager that could come in and just regulate it a bit and be a little bit more pragmatic in the situations where he needs to be, one, you wouldn't be where you are on the table, and two, I think you'd be getting more out of some of the players. I think you've got some decent players. Like Van der Ven is always stretched. Do you know what I mean? He's always facing his own goal, always chasing back towards his own goal to try and recover and retrieve something. I feel like playing for Spurs is such high intensity 90% of the time under Ange. It's so end to end. There must be so much stress in the situations constantly repeating themselves. It must be a nightmare mentally and physically for these players to be able to keep up with, because they're almost sacrificed every single week they play football. And even this game, right, when I think when you went 2-1 on aggregate, all of a sudden the pitch started to open up a little bit because you were obviously chasing it and trying to get back in. And then, I mean, every time Liverpool went forwards, it looked like they might do something. They're like one of the best teams potentially in the world on the transition, by the way. They are fantastic. They are deadly.
They understand. They all understand their role in the team, right? It doesn't matter if you take Trent out and bring in Bradley, or take out Robertson and bring in Tsimikas. Doesn't matter if it's Diaz, Gakpo, Nunes, Salah, Jota. I mean, they've got options coming out their arse, haven't they? We haven't even got an arse at the moment because we've just been absolutely fucked.
Do you know what? Talking about arse, earlier on the terrace, someone said, I forgot to say this to you. Someone said if your parents had actually named you after Spurs players, you'd be called Pavlyuchenko Defoe.
It's not even
forgot
funny,
to
is
say it to you. It just come into my mind when you said that. But honestly, mate, like
Pavlyuchenko Defoe. I mean, that's
it was an outrageous line, wasn't it? Because obviously, Omri Wright is Arsenal's best players chat. If you weren't there at the terrace earlier, but look, I have to say, like, if Ange is still in the job and they actually back him to go win the Europa League, mate, honestly, I actually feel sorry for you, because I don't know if you could bring in a manager and potentially go and win the Europa League, but I reckon someone might give it a better shot than him. I mean, do you feel confident on the continent with Ange's style of football?
No,
I wouldn't.
Not at all. I look at, like, there's difficult teams in the Europa League. Athletic Bilbao are miles better than us. Lazio are better than us. Man United are better than us. Like we got fans.
That Bilbao gaffer would be decent for you, I think. It's Valverde who was at Barcelona.
Yeah. And the final was in their ground.
Gaffer to get in, is it? If you were to, obviously, you probably wouldn't leave, but he's the sort of manager that you wouldn't go too far wrong hiring, I don't think. I feel like someone like that, Iraola at Bournemouth, they're the sort of, like, do you have a preference who you'd bring in if Ange was to go?
That's who I'd like to bring in, but it's just like, I just can't see it happening. Like,
I mean, If
Look at our
Levy
transfer
paid
window.
for him. Yeah, true. Yeah, but do you think like this is the only thing I thought about that transfer window is obviously I think the injuries that have happened probably made him think I've got to do something. But do you think he is happy with Ange? Like he wants to back him? If it was a different manager, would he have spent more money this window? Would he have really tried?
No, it's the same old stuff, isn't it? With Levy, but like the thing is, he's had like 450 million euros or something stupid like that to spend. But our recruitment, mate, Brennan Johnson is a terrible footballer. Timo Werner is a terrible footballer.
He's gone, isn't he? Timo, like surely Matthias Tell is the replacement for Werner.
Yeah, but even Tell, like, did we need to spend 60 million euros on him? No, we didn't. There's other area. We still have not got a DM. We still don't have a
Your
DM.
midfield is so weak, like so. It
We don't have the
doesn't
only
get
creative
control of
player
a
we've
game,
got.
does it?
Yeah, the only creative player we've got is Maddison. The only player that can run is Bergvall. And then we've got Saar, Bissouma, and Bentancur. And Bentancur and Bissouma are basically the same bloody player. It's pointless. We might as well play with 10 men rather than playing with both of them. Because they
Have
are
you
the
got any
same.
trophy winners in the side as well? Like have any of them won trophies in their career?
Yeah, I think Kulu and James Maddison's won the FA Cup.
Matters true.
Kulu and Bentancur have won trophies at Juventus. Tell's obviously won trophies at Bayern. Romero's obviously won a World Cup.
Yeah. So you have got them in the dressing room as well. And Ange has won things before as well, but I think it's been, I don't know, I hate to say it, but I feel like it's been fairly easy for him to win things in his career, you know?
Yeah, he's won a bloody Celtic playing against St Mirren every fucking week.
Yeah, Celtic. What did he win anything with Australia? I'm not sure that he did. I don't know. No. Maybe he won something in Japan. I don't buy into the fact that he will win the Europa League and still win something in his second season. I just don't. I think he's saying that.
I don't even want him in charge of the Villa game.
Well, is that your weekend fixture?
Yeah.
Or Monday?
FA Cup, Aston Villa away, Rashford and Asensio make their debut. Seriously, what is the point?
You don't know with Villa though. Like you just
nah. Come on, it's under.
The chat. Do you think that he's got a chance against Villa? I'd love to know what people think because
I'll tell you what.
It would be so Ange to just get a result.
If we beat Villa, I will be astonished.
Is it home or away?
It's at Villa Park.
Nah, I feel like they're better at home than they are away.
Well, let us know. Like, let's get through some comments. We've been impressed all season. That's why we're top of everything. Still haven't played anybody above us.
Who's that about?
Spurs. It's about Liverpool. Big Ange is the king, mate, of kangaroos, mate. It's just who we are.
Mate.
It really annoys me how some of the pundits are going in on Skelly when Haaland couldn't have deserved it more. City are such.
Have you seen that with Carragher? Have you seen what Carragher said?
What's he said?
So Carragher come out. I don't know if it was today, but I only saw the video today, and he said, "I don't think Miles Skelly is in a position to be taking the mick out of Haaland. Haaland's won scored 250 goals and won every trophy you can win in football." But I don't know if I'm wrong here, but I think Skelly has every right to do that celebration.
Didn't Haaland say to Skelly, "Who are you?" or something like that?
So I don't think he has any reason to he can do that celebration and take the mick because of how rude and disrespectful Haaland was to him. Because I just don't think there's any way Haaland knows who Skelly is, because Pep Guardiola would have done the due diligence in the build up to that game on every single Arsenal player to prepare them for who probably would have played in that first fixture. So he would have known who he was, and he was just rude. I do not blame Skelly for doing that. Karen Neville, I mean Neville, he thought you'd win tonight, so that's enough for me to think that he is absolutely delusional. And I then think Kara's gone too far saying that as well.
Look, I want everyone's predictions in the chat. This is Tottenham's next 8 games.
Oh.
Right, I'll go first, and I'll get everyone's thoughts and feelings in. How many points? Okay, other than the Villa game, because obviously the Villa game is the FA Cup game. But let's say, we'll start with the Villa game and then we'll get to points. I am going to...
What's the maximum? 24 points?
Yeah, well, listen, we're going out
it's
to
cup,
Villa.
it's cup as
We're
well.
going out to Villa. We're going to comfortably lose that. They haven't played midweek. We've had to trek all the way out the bloody M6 to get spanked. You know,
Seriously, should the fans be getting a rebate
oh,
from this now?
absolutely, mate.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Do you know
Absolutely.
what? Because
Without
the worst
hesitation.
thing is they would have to pay for the M6 toll as well.
All that petrol money, all the trains money, trekking all the way up there in the pissing down rain, right?
To Liverpool.
To Liverpool.
Yeah.
Right, Aston Villa, let's just be honest, we're losing. I am telling you lot now, we ain't beating Man United, Ipswich, City. But I think we get 4 points. And I genuinely, I'm not taking the piss. Chelsea are going to ruin us. They always turn up against us. I think we beat Southampton and we draw one of those 5 games. Bournemouth, the way they're playing, Cliver will come and absolutely dick us. Right, Fulham away. You know, they had a good performance against us at home, and last year they battered us 3-0 away. Plus, we'll have Europa League in and around there. You know, and with this manager, I think we get 4. And I'm not excited. I'm not doing this to be, you know, negative. I genuinely think we're going to I think we'll beat Southampton, and I think we will draw against Chelsea, Bournemouth, Fulham, Ipswich, City, or United.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 games from now, you're on 24. You'll be on 31. So you have another 7 games after that.
Yeah, road to 40 points.
Yeah, if you get 4 points, you'll be on 31, right? So you would actually have to get 9 points out of your last 7 fixtures to get 40. Look, I don't think you're going to get relegated, but with Ange in charge, yeah, you actually are right. You're at like the top end of a relegation battle. You know, if you actually get 4 points,
look at our recent league results.
Yeah,
right?
It's abysmal, mate. You concede so many goals.
Okay, we beat Brentford, great. We lost to Leicester, Everton, Arsenal. We beat Hoffenheim and Elfsborg. Yeah, great. Who cares? Moving on. I think Man United, we may get a draw there. We may get a draw. Ipswich Town, 1,000% we are losing that. Rory Delap, they've already beaten us at home this season. We will lose to Ipswich. Do you know what? I'm going to say 7 points.
Do you beat
City? We might beat City, yeah.
Just that's a proper Tottenham result beating City. The way like City are almost fearful of your ground only in the league, you know. And with their form at the moment, it's a bit hit and miss. I reckon you lose to Bournemouth. Bournemouth away. No, Bournemouth at home. I'm not sure. Fulham. I mean, Silva's a good gaffer. I'm going to say you get 6. I think there's 2 wins in there. I don't really know against who. I feel like Ipswich is almost a 6-pointer, mate. You don't want them beating you because if they beat you, they obviously bring that relegation zone a lot close to you.
And look at it.
Southampton. You beat Southampton.
Doesn't get any easier though, does it? Wolves away, Forest.
Yeah, go on. Yeah, that's what I wanted to see. What are your next? What's like your run in your last 7 games?
Last 7.
Yeah.
Liverpool away.
Oh my gosh.
West Ham away. Villa away. And Brighton.
Yeah, so it's from Wolves. So if you're on 31, which is what you're suggesting, potentially 33 max or whatever, did you say 7? 33, 30, 34 points. You got to get 6 points out of that last 7 fixtures, which is Wolves, Forest, Liverpool, West Ham, Palace, Villa, Brighton. I'll tell you what, you beat Brighton on the last day of the season to stay up.
Yeah, but this is mate, it's fucking
you probably beat Wolves. Right, here's what you probably beat Wolves away. And then this is with Ange in charge, by the way. I think if you were to sack him, I think if you hired the right person, you probably have a chance. Unless the worst thing for you is Daniel Levy goes, I still think he'll get us enough points to survive, and he just keeps him in charge.
I think the way we played in the league the last 15 games, we'll beat Brighton, we'll beat Palace, we'll lose to Villa, we'll lose to West Ham, we'll lose to Liverpool, we'll lose to Forest, we'll probably draw against Wolves, we'll beat Southampton. lose against Chelsea, lose against Fulham, lose against Bournemouth, lose against Ipswich, draw against United, and beat City.
That's not many points. That's four, seven
I think that's 8 points.
in total.
That's honestly, mate. We've got an awful manager.
If you only get 8 points now, I don't know. I just feel like you wouldn't survive. But I just think Leicester, Ipswich, and Southampton are so bad that they can't overtake you. So you might survive with like a ridiculously low points tally of like 36 or something. Like 8 points from now on 27. I mean, that literally puts you on 35 points.
Out of those next 8 games, I reckon we win 1 and draw 1. Like I said,
that is crazy. If you keep him in charge, that is.
Well, I just don't see who's going to come in at this point. Do you think you'll beat us on the 2nd of April?
I'd like to think so. I mean, we're normally pretty favourable beating you at the. You know what will happen? I'll tell you right now. You probably sack your gaffer after you lose to Fulham, and you'll be on a new manager beat us. Nah, honestly, I'm not sure. I really don't know where you're picking up results there with Ange in charge, because I can see a number of those sides finding it quite easy against you with the and you know what, with going out of that competition now, I just feel like any momentum that you didn't really have, but any good feeling around the club, do you think that starts to like fall away now? Do you think your players I feel like the players go into training, they might have a day off. I'm not sure. But the day they go back to training, they're going to walk into the dressing room. And I think some of them might sit there, they go through that game. I think some of them might sit there and think, do you know what? You stuck us out there to get embarrassed. And they might lose. You might lose the dressing room off of that result, because I think that's embarrassing. 32 points keeps you up. You don't need 40. Yeah, I look at the three
That's
teams
where we're at.
below.
Road to 32 points.
They're bad, mate. You're lucky that the 3 teams below are so far off it. I mean, Southampton probably could be the worst team in Premier League history. They worse than that Derby side. They could be, couldn't they? How many points are they on? I think they're on 9. Isn't 16 the record?
So as it stands right now, we are 10 points off of Leicester. Look at Leicester. Look at Leicester's recent form. Guess who that win was against? You're on mute, by the way.
Oh yeah, sorry. I was looking. Derby's 11 points, so they've only got to get 3.
Okay, but look at that. Leicester's recent win. And look who it was against. That's embarrassing, mate.
They're poor, by the way. When we played them a few weeks ago, like they were bad. Well, that was the day Cooper got sacked, actually. But
look at Everton.
4 goals to Everton.
Mark my words. We may finish below Everton.
Yeah, no, you're finishing, mate. Moyes doing a really good job there. Is Moyes the last 3 games in charge at Everton?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's flying, mate. He's got Everton, a team that couldn't score goals, score a goal. This is the thing, right? If you know what, this is not a lie. I'd have Sean Dyche. If I was a Spurs fan, I'd have Sean Dyche for a bit, just to steady the ship so you don't get relegated.
I mean, what we do is Sean fucking.
I'm not even lying, but what Moyes has shown is that a manager can make a drastic difference to a side, because suddenly Everton have started scoring goals, which they weren't able to do under Sean Dyche. So it does show that if you were to get a manager in, and I know you say who's out there, I kind of buy into it, but there is a few managers I'm sure that are, well, I don't know. Are they that interested in taking a Tottenham job, which seems to limit a manager's career rather than enhance it, to be honest? I'm not sure. That's where I'd have some. Would you take Lopetegui? Ipswich
probably not.
You know what? Ipswich are poor, mate. You don't lose to Ipswich. I know they've already beaten you, but I just don't think you do. Is your form? Your form is actually only as good as Leicester's, though, isn't it? Leicester's and Southampton's form in the last 5 games.
Yeah, I mean.
Do you know what, mate? There was a point in the season, I think, when we last did a show, and I think you were like 7 wins, 7 losses, And I think since that point, you've pretty much just lost every single game you've played by that result that you just got.
Yeah, other than that Brentford game, the last one we had was on the 15th of December, which was against
again?
Southampton.
Oh my God.
So if you actually look at our record this season, we've lost to Leicester, drew to Wolves, lost to Everton, lost to Ipswich, lost to Palace, beaten Southampton. The only top 10 sides we've beaten this season, right, is Man City.
I'll tell you what, though, you and I scored a lot of goals. 48 goals is right up there with the Champions League teams.
Yeah, Dan, the only top 10 side we've beaten this season. I'll tell a lie, we beat Villa. We've beaten two top 10 sides all season. Chelsea beat us, Forest beat us away, Arsenal beat us home and away, Liverpool have beaten us away and in the cup. Fulham drew, Bournemouth beat us. That's embarrassing. Two top 10 sides. Who's 10?
Henry, chat are saying they're saying Southgate.
Nah, listen, you're not taking the piss.
I think he'd do a better job, you know. I actually think he would do a better job. Has he got any links to Spurs?
Listen,
would you not have him? He'd do better than Ange, mate. I think he would. I'm not going to get that started, like saying that it should happen, but I think he'd do a better job. And Daniel Levy would love him. Love him. I actually don't think that would be the worst move. Chat, what do we reckon? Southgate to Spurs? Come on. Henry, that ain't that bad.
I'm just sorry to interrupt you. I'm in a group chat right now, and in the space of 12 minutes, there's been 181 messages in 12 fucking minutes, spamming a load of Spurs PR. Would I take Southgate?
Yeah.
No chance. I'd rather you in charge.
Mate, I'd do a great job. I'm not even lying. I honestly think, right, this is not a lie, but I don't know the ins and outs of Spurs enough and know how it runs, but I genuinely believe you could give half the fan base of Tottenham the job and just pick a random person in the crowd. I think they'd do a better job than Ange. I just do. I just don't think. I think he gets it, but I don't think he understands the importance behind just getting a result and getting trophies over playing this brand of football. And I think there's a percentage of Spurs fans that wanted the nice football, but you're not getting that anymore.
Yeah.
And I genuinely think you could turn around and give them the job and they'd be way more pragmatic and they'd understand what they need to do to try and get a result in the game. Like tonight, I don't think any Spurs fan is going to allow Tottenham to play in the manner that they did tonight, even when, it was just so... He obviously didn't... Tonight, the tactics weren't the worst thing at the start of the game, because I actually felt like that's probably what you had to do, a snatch and grab, try and nick a goal, but hold on to your lead. It was the fact that your players just didn't seem up for it, didn't seem motivated, didn't buy into the fact that they could actually win that game. Just never even thought it was a possibility by what I saw from the performances tonight.
Do you know what it is for me as well? Like, the players must have known surely the importance of that.
You think so?
How do you put in a good performance against Brentford and then not show any fight or character against Liverpool in the semi-final? Like, I just don't get it. The tactical changes from Ange, disastrous.
Do you think he's out of his depth?
Oh, but he's been out of his depth since October.
This season.
I called this October I'll tell you the exact date I called this, right? When I wanted Ange out. And everyone said, oh, you're so negative, etc., etc., etc. I called this 15th of September, 2024. So October, November, December, January, February. 5 months I've been saying this. And nothing's changed. We're not any better. We're worse. We beat Brentford 3-1, right, after beating Arsenal, losing to Arsenal. Everyone got giddy. I'll tell you what happened, right? First game of the season, we drew to Leicester. Everyone got giddy because we then beat Everton 4-0. We then lost to Newcastle and Arsenal. We then beat Brentford, Man United, Chavos, West Ham, Qarabag, Coventry, and all these average sides. And then we lost to Brighton, Palace. We beat Villa. And then since then, we lost to Galatasaray, Ipswich, drew to Roma, drew to Fulham, lost to Bournemouth, Chelsea, lost to Liverpool 6-3 at home. Liverpool have scored 10 goals against us in 3 games. Now, bearing in mind, in one of those games, they didn't even score. So they've scored 10 goals in 2 games against us. It's disastrous. And we've still got to play Liverpool one more time. I'm getting sick and tired of it.
Where have you got to play them?
At Anfield. Let's have a look.
Players are going to be scarred. Your fans, like, they're not going to want to make that journey up there again, are they? What, mate? Why? Someone just said that comment there. My daddy, Jose would have won you a trophy by now for sure.
100%.
Like, he would have. He had
100%.
what? Why did he sack him? It's like it's almost like Daniel Levy is anti you actually winning a trophy in case he'd have to pay the managers a bonus for winning it. Because I don't understand why else he would have sacked Jose in that manner.
Look at that. They've got West Ham, then Leicester, then they've got us, you, and Arsenal.
Oh, they'll win the league.
Oh, 1,000,000%. I'll tell you what, I'm that confident they'll win the league. They have the league wrapped up by...
Wait, is that last game of the season, Liverpool-Arsenal?
No, Crystal Palace.
Oh, no.
I'm that confident Liverpool will win the league. They'll have it done before May. They would have already won the league title before the 3rd of May.
That is a 13-point gap they'd need to have by the time they beat.
Well, they win their game in hand. They've already got 9.
Yeah, they could do that, couldn't they? It depends on Arsenal and if they were to slip. But yeah, there's a possibility that they could actually have had it wrapped up by April.
And just post.
You know what? That is a tough run in. If there's any vulnerability around Liverpool, you know, if Arsenal somehow manage to pull it back or get within touching difference by the time Liverpool go into that running of you to the end of the season, especially those 3 fixtures, Arsenal, if they're up for that, like it will make it exciting, but I think they'll do it.
I think Liverpool will have the league done by May. I think you'll win the Conference League. Liverpool will win the league. I'd like to see Newcastle win the League Cup, but it's just not happening for me.
If I said to you right now that I wouldn't be so sure that Chelsea win the Conference League, would you say it's delusional? Because I have a feeling we
can't beat. Listen. The only other team in there is Fiorentina.
Yeah, Real Betis, Anthony. I can just see it now.
Real Betis.
No, I'm being serious here. I think we found the Conference League so easy, too easy, almost. That I have a fear that there could be we've got rid of a few other players that have played in the Conference League as well, but I have a slight fear of complacency in that competition, and I've said it since before the season started. Then I thought it was really easy. I was like, no, we'll just walk this competition. But now we've been a little bit iffy with form.
But you've scored 26 and conceded 5. There's not a chance in here. Let's look through the teams.
Yeah,
right?
but look at who we've lost to Ipswich and a number of other pretty poor teams in the Premier this season.
Ipswich would be 3rd or 4th in the Conference League.
Do you reckon they would be? Do you reckon that?
Let's look through it. Right, Fiorentina are a good side. Victoria.
I'm not saying Chelsea don't win it, by the way. I'm just saying I've got this horrible feeling we slip.
Panathinaikos, Shamrock. Who is that?
I don't know. I don't know if that's another team.
No disrespect to Real Betis are an established side. Ghent are established side. Copenhagen are. Is that Heineken?
Wow, Copenhagen are 18th.
Molde Hearts. The more established teams at the bottom: Istanbul, Hearts,
they're out.
Lask beat up Lask. Sorry, Dynamo Minsk, the New Saints. If you don't walk this conference,
I think the New Saints are Welsh. I think.
I mean, what?
Do you know what? If you look, actually, some of the better teams, or in terms of name, who are in this competition, they're actually way lower down than I thought they were. So maybe we do. Maybe we do just walk it. But for some reason, I would say it's like, do you know what? Even if we slip, it's 2 legs, isn't it? Most likely in any game that we play. So we'd probably bring it back like You can lose 1-0 and still
You could
concede
lose
4.
about 4-0 and still come back and annihilate them. You beat bloody Noah, was it 8-0? And then they won the next 2 games and said that was because of the thumping we had from Chelsea.
Nah, we should be all right, shouldn't we? I mean, it would be
top of that Conference League. That's how bad the level is.
Yeah, true. Do you know what? Have you got? What's your Europa League fixtures looking like? Have you? What stage are you at in that? Have you got a playoff round, or have you gone straight through?
No, we're straight through.
Oh, mate, you could win that. Maybe Levy will hang on.
Listen, we're not winning anything with this manager. Let's have a look at the Europa League. So the Europa League, we finished 4th, yeah. But like, I just don't. I look at a lot of these teams and just think, on a Thursday night away,
Europa's respectable, isn't it?
Yeah, like Lazio are a good side. Bilbao, for me, are the favourites. Man United won their last 5. Look at our form in the Europa League and then look at Man United's. Man United have won their last 5 games. Man United haven't lost a game.
Do you know what? Talking about Lazio, but he isn't currently their manager. Would you take Sarri if you sacked Ange?
I mean,
4-3-3, attacking football. Actually, not that bad. I kind of probably gave him too much stick when he was at Chelsea. I feel like Sarri wouldn't even be a bad move. He resigned as Lazio manager. He didn't even get sacked. Maybe just don't want it anymore. But that's a manager that is available right now. When you go, who's about? Oh, who's about? Actually, he is. Lazio have got a new manager.
The one I would like to see come in, who's free, but it's like, why would he? I'd love to see Xavi, but you need a director of football alongside him that's got the same vision.
Have you got any director of football at the moment?
We got Johan Langer, who we nicked from Villa because he got a couple of good deals over the line.
Who were his deals? Do you know?
Martinez,
okay,
Rodgers, Watkins, Cash, Kamara.
Oh, so he did build an all right. He built an all right team.
Yeah, but their hierarchy's got ambition. They sell Grealish and go out and buy 3 or 4 good players. We sell Bowen.
You know what? That is such a good point. Your recruitment off the back of huge sales has been shocking. Shocking, mate. I think back to Bale, obviously, when you sold him, and it was really poor. Like, a number of the players you bought were like subpar. But then I think back to like achieving the Champions League final. The recruitment that Poch needed was shocking. The recruitment off the back of the Harry Kane money, not very good. Like, that has been a huge issue in terms of your recruitment when you've had a bit of an income or a bonus amount of money to spend. I just feel like it's been, mate, De Zerbi's not leaving Marseille at this moment in time.
I'd love De Zerbi.
He'd be quality. I feel like he's a sort of spicy character as well that actually would be useful for at Spurs. Do you know what? There's a couple of managers in that Europa League that are actually quite decent. Just looking around at like Eintracht Frankfurt, I think they've got a guy called Tottenhaml. He's actually quite a good coach. I think he'll be in a better side before too long.
Yeah,
well, form's not great there, is it? 2 wins in the last 5 games you played. When you look around,
and look who we beat. We beat Elfsborg and Hoffenheim. Shall we show you where they are in the Europa League?
Hoffenheim was close, and it's 3-2 as well.
Look at where they are in the Europa League.
Oh my!
Elfsborg and Hoffenheim are 26th and 27th.
Wow!
Like,
wait, is Mourinho's at Fenerbahce, isn't he?
Yeah.
No, yeah, mate. What's going on there?
They're just about in, surviving just.
What? I didn't know that.
And
that's done now, isn't it? They've scraped in with 1 win.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is at Besiktas.
Yeah, he is. So they're out.
That's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, they're out, aren't they? Hoffenheim are out. Mate, you've beaten 2 teams that are out.
Porto, Roma. Hang on, is the draw been?
I think the draw's been done though for the qualifier knockout or whatever it is.
Oh, there's some tasty draws in there. Porto versus Roma.
That's Ranieri, isn't it? At Roma.
Ranieri versus
I
don't know who the Porto.
I don't know the Porto manager is off the top of my head because he left, didn't he, Constantine?
Yeah, AZ outcome. So I reckon Ajax will win, but Union St. Gallis are decent. Real Sociedad should win against Midland. Well, Werner Chavos, Jesus Christ, versus Victoria Pleasant. I reckon Victoria Pleasant do it. Fenerbahce will go through because of Jose. Galatasaray will go through over Alkmaar. FCSB, I think, will go.
Isn't your old boy at Alkmaar? What's his name?
Boy Parrot.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Bangs
Yeah,
goals
mate.
for them and all.
Yeah, I know. Do you know what? I saw him doing an interview a few weeks ago, like properly backing himself. And I was like, that's the sort of arrogance you need at a top club, like from a striker. You wouldn't do, I mean, Solanke's kind of just mimicked his position, really, but he would have been an all right option, maybe, to give a go to. Although Dane Scarlett scored, didn't he, the other week as well?
Oh, like.
What?
He's so bad. Like, he scored a goal.
Is he really?
We were told he was going to be the second coming of Harry Kane. Like, we were told that about Parrot. Like, I was talking to the Liverpool boys at Coppish yesterday, and they said replacing Mohamed Salah with Buemo would be like the biggest drop off in Premier League history.
Yes,
I said, no. Replacing Harry Kane with Richarlison is the biggest drop off in Premier League.
Yeah, true. History. It's a great shout, isn't it? Although, would you not say you've replaced Harry Kane with Solanke? It just took too long.
Yeah, but like I worried when Son eventually goes, we need to bring a player in who can get 30 goal contributions.
Is that? I don't know, but I think that's what you're doing with Tel. I think they believe Tel is that person.
Mate, it's a huge ask to get rid of your captain to replace him with a 19-year-old.
But the thing with Tel is that he believes he's going to be like, he obviously backs himself because he wanted to go somewhere where he'd play and get minutes, but Bayern Munich wouldn't have signed him. And all of those clubs were after him. Chelsea, Arsenal in the conversation, Man United in the conversation. There's a lot of hype and expectation around Matthias Tel. Porto, I was just looking at Porto's manager. He's called Martin Anselmini on the 27th of January. So he might have only just got that job. So they might have sacked someone in between.
Yeah.
So I don't know who it was. And I don't know him. He managed Cruz Azul in Mexico, I think. But man, that Europa League has thrown up some tasty fixtures, actually. I can't believe Jose's. I thought Fenerbahce had some players, because I was looking through their squad because I think someone went there in January transfer window. And I was quite surprised at who they had.
Yeah, I think the Europa League is definitely going to be like decent this year.
Do you think what does your gut tell you? Does your gut think that Levy keeps Ange in for the Europa League and potentially the FA Cup? Just thinks there's no one there to replace him. We might as well wait till the summer.
I still think he'll be here come the summer. I don't know why, but what we're witnessing right now is statistically the worst Tottenham team in Premier League history after this amount of games. We were 20th after 12 games of having that, and we had more points than we did at this stage of the season. Right, after the first 10 games of Ange Postecoglou last season, we accumulated more points than we did up to last win. If you take away the Brentford points, after 23 games, we accumulated more points in the first 10 games of last season.
Yeah, first 10 games of last season, though, you didn't lose, did you?
I think we won 9, drew 1.
Yeah, and then you lost to Chelsea. Do you know what, mate? Since you lost that game, I barely remember Tottenham putting results together, being consistent. Like, I don't know what
we've just been start, stop.
And then this year, it's obviously like fallen off the face of a cliff. But I still think that you lost any momentum off the back of that. And it's just, I don't know. I just feel like Ange never got going again after that 10-game streak that he went on. It's just never really happened again, has it? For him, really. I mean, you did well to hang on to fifth because I think form-wise, from the moment you lost that game to Chelsea, your form was like, I don't want to say it was relegation level, but it was pretty low, wasn't it, compared to the other teams? And the 30 points that you'd accumulated in that unbeaten streak or whatever it was, or 27, and managed to like hold you in there enough that no one else could catch you to overtake it.
Yeah, it's laughable. Like, we had 10 good games last season. And like you said, since that Chelsea game, we've nosedived like a kamikaze pilot. But look, I'm gonna obviously, Dan, much appreciated for coming on.
Yeah, not a problem, mate.
Dan's link is pinned in the chat. It is also pinned in the title. So make sure you go over there. Who have you got in the FA
FA
Cup?
Cup, Brighton away Saturday evening, 8 o'clock.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think it's Saturday.
And who have you got in the league?
I think we got Brighton on Monday. Hang on. I think we got Brighton twice in a week.
But you got another Monday kickoff.
No, hang on.
This Friday.
We got Friday. We got Brighton Friday, actually. Friday. Yeah. So it is. We've got Brighton at 8 o'clock on a Saturday, which is quite a ledge kickoff time because, like, you know that they're going to be down there boozing all day long.
Oh, yeah. They're going to be right.
That is a quality away day. It's just time of year that's shocking for that. And then on Valentine's Day, we got Brighton at 8 o'clock in the evening. So my Valentine's Day is currently looking pretty quiet in the evening. I'll be watching the footy.
Yeah, fair enough, mate. Well, look, make sure you go over to Dan's channel and subscribe. Make sure you drop a like on the way out. Make sure you have the subscribe button. Go and check out the post-match reaction.
No, please do, because it's round 2 with the chair, and Henry actually taught it a lesson this time.
Oh, mate.
Definitely go and have a look. Do you know what it reminds me of? Did you ever watch Rotorshort when he was younger with the chair when he raged on FIFA? That is what it reminds me of.
The amount of people on Twitter, the amount of people in the comments have said, like, is this Rotorshort, like, from Wish? Oh,
yeah, because the chair Rotorshort managed to break his chair, mate. You always pick yours back up and sit on it.
I told you, this chair's made of
robust. Do you know what? Wherever you got that chair from, go and leave them. Chat. Anyone that is watching this, right? Go and leave that chair a 5-star review on durability. Like, please do. Henry, you know what you should do? You should put an Amazon link in your description, like people do, an affiliate link, and then actually, like, cash in on the people buying that chair because of its durability.
Yeah, it's a bloody. I'm looking at some of the comments on that video. Chill out. What did the chair do to you? But look, we'll see you all soon. We are going to wrap up. Go and subscribe to Dan. Drop a like on the way out, and I'll see you all again soon.